GPT-5 is out and it is so different to GPT-4. I have literally been banging my head against my laptop trying to figure out why is it just not giving me the outputs that I'm asking for. I've been speaking to it the same way, I've been asking it the same questions, I've been writing the prompts the same way, and that's where I've been going wrong. So I wanted to create a video to show you that this is actually not how you should be prompting GPT-5. And there are some very specific things about GPT-5 that you need to know about. If you imagine GPT-4 as going to a coffee shop with a really good friend and having a chat and brainstorming some ideas, that's GPT-4. GPT-5 is basically the person that you speak to on the phone who you say, I need to get this done. And then they go off, they disappear. 3 minutes later, they come back and they've already done it for you. Okay, so the GPT-5, its predisposition is to ship and deliver something rather than just have a chat and be a helpful assistant. And that is the biggest challenge that I've personally found with adjusting to the two different versions. But we've looked at the leaked system prompts, we've looked at the OpenAI cookbook, and there's some really good knowledge out there that I've pulled together to help you write prompts that are much more appropriate for GPT-5. So let me show you what those are. There's 7 rules. So hopefully it'll be really clear and you'll be able to get it easily, and it will just transform the way that you're prompting and outputs that you get from GPT-5. Let me show you right now. Okay, how to prompt GPT-5. Raccoons demand fancy pastries and steal croissants immediately. That is what I would like you to remember when you think about how to prompt GPT-5, because we're going to cover the role, the depth, the format, the plan, the artifacts, the steps, and the clean instructions that you need in order to get the output that you're looking for every time. So let's go with the first one. Okay, I'm just going to move me up here. So role. So rule number 1 is tell it the role and the goal. So start with what you want and who GPT-5 should be. This is very typical to how we've started prompts with GPT-4. But as an example, it would be good to say, you are my executive assistant. The goal is draft a polite but firm payment chase email to Acme CFO. And why it works is because the role and the clear outcome set priorities and tone from the start. So you're giving your GPT a persona and it knows exactly what it is and what you want it to do. The second one is depth. So rule 2 is choose the depths, speed over thinking or thinking over speed in plain English. So decide if you want a quick draft or you want a careful answer. If you've noticed, GPT-5, it can decide whether it does it quickly or whether it thinks about it longer. So if you want it to do something fast for you, then say something like a quick take in 5 bullets, or it's okay to be imperfect. When you add that into your prompt, then it will automatically choose the speed over thinking. When you say be more thorough or think step by step or verify the facts before answering, then it will automatically switch to the thinking reasoning model so that it can do a more thorough job. The pro tip is that if your plan has it, select the deeper thinking mode for hard questions and stick to fast and auto for quick drafts. So that's one way I've been using it. Rule 3 is about the format. So specify the format and the length and ask for structure. Tell it the shape of the answer that you want so that you can copy and paste it. Say something like, give me 6 to 8 bullets and a 1-line conclusion, or give me a 1-page brief with these headings: context, options, risks, and recommendation. And why it works is because the structure means there's less editing and fewer surprises. And also, it's about telling the GPT what good looks like. It can't give you the output that you want unless it really understands what that looks like. Rule 4 is plan, do, and summarize. So have GPT-5 show its plan, do the work, and then wrap. So for example, it works really well when you say things like, first show a 3-step plan, then do the work, and then finish with a 2-line summary and next steps. And why it works is because you see the approach, you get the deliverable, and you get a clean executive summary. This is very much similar to how O3 used to work in terms of showing its reasoning and showing its thinking pattern. It's exactly the same concept. It's just you're giving it that instruction to be really clear, and when you do that, you get outputs that are much more superior. Number 5 is artifacts. So rule 5, ask for artifacts to prove the actions. When you want analysis, charts or code, or require receipts about something, you can say things like show the artifact that you use, so the query, the code or the formula and the result. For example, if you're asking it to create a Gantt chart as a code and render it, include the code block you ran. And the reason we do this is because sometimes it will say, yep, there you go, I've done it, but it won't actually tell you what it's done, and you can't prove that it's really done what it says it's done. So this is why it reduces those claims where it says it's used a particular tool or it says it's done it a particular way, and it makes your work more auditable. Rule 6 then is steps. So break the big tasks into steps. Guide it through the milestones. So again, this is exactly how the O3 model used to work as a reasoning model. Say this. So for example, step 1, create a SWOT for management consulting in 2026. Step 2, turn that into 3 strategic priorities that we want to focus on. And step 3, draft a 90-day action plan with owners. And why it works is because it gives clear checkpoints to improve the GPT's focus and get the results that you want. That's one thing that 4 didn't do particularly well, which is why it's so great that GPT-5 combines the positives of 4 in terms of getting to answers really fast, but also the reasoning models of O3. Clean instructions are rule 7, so keep the instructions clean and re-anchor in long chats. So avoid mixed signals. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people say things like, be concise but explain in detail in the same prompt. It just doesn't work, and it's very confusing for the AI. So to solve this, just say things like keep it brief, add 1 clarifying sentence per point, and if you've got a long prompt, you can use what we call U-shaped prompting. So you put the must-haves at the start and repeat the constraints at the end, and then ask for a quick requirements met checklist. And that basically allows the AI to get over that lost in the middle effect, where it just sort of forgets all the things that you say in the middle of your prompt, and it reminds the AI that what you're looking for if you put it at the start and the end. So those are the 7 rules. Hopefully you'll find those will give you much better outputs when you're using GPT-5. I've put a template in the video description that you can just copy and paste it into your GPT and edit it to say what you want it to say. And that should give you some much stronger outputs. So remember, raccoons demand fancy pastries and steal croissants immediately. Happy prompting.